really want to wake up every day and say, yeah, I'm still not doing what I love? Do you? Because I don't. Me personally, I don't want to do that. If you're a new bestie, hello. This video is well overdue. If you watched any of my content before, or you follow me on social media, you know that I'm a pretty open person. I talk about a lot of stuff, and I don't have a problem talking about it because it should be talked about, and I like being transparent and vulnerable on social media. But this type of vulnerability that you're about to witness as we do this Get Ready With Me, this was very much overdue. I've been letting fear control how I show up in this world, and I'm tired of it. Yes, I'm terrified a little bit. I am. Because showing up in my purpose means that I have to authentically be me. It means that I have to fully show up. It means that I have to hold myself accountable for the way that I show up. My inner child was really afraid of responsibility and afraid of being seen. We're gonna go a little bit more into that later. This is my first Get Ready With Me, so I don't expect it to be perfect at all. Hopefully this lighting setup is okay, but it's gonna get posted regardless. Whatever quality it's in, it's gonna get posted because I know that I meant to create this video. Let's get into this first Get Ready With Me chit chat. The fact that I am nervous while making this video is interesting. And I think it's just a testament of why I need to make this video. The purpose of my platforms is to normalize experiences, make people feel safe, inspire others, and educate them, whether it's about content creation, about mental health, whatever the case may be. I remember growing up, and one thing I always felt was alone. I was so lonely growing up. I remember one day I was sitting in the car, and I think I was driving through downtown Virginia, and basically I told myself that when I grew up, I was going to make something, I was going to write some book, I was going to do something that made people feel less alone. And I feel like I've successfully done that. So in our heart, what we want to do, fear is like, hey bitch, knock, 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 I'm here. Fear is a natural part of life. That's the thing. It's not necessarily about getting over your fears. It's about getting through them. And that is what I have dedicated myself to this entire year. It's now August, and it feels like it's been so long. I feel like on social media, it's very easy to fall into the trap of, oh, well, I should be doing this, or so-and-so is doing this, and I'm not doing this. We all compare. Like, we're human. We're all going to compare. But at the end of the day, you can't compare your journey to somebody else's because it'll never be accurate. I had to come back to earth with that because I kind of lost myself a little bit along the way. I remember last year when mini vlogs became a thing, and the way that I did my mini vlogs was completely different than other people and the way they did their mini vlogs. And I stopped leaning into that because I didn't see that. Like, I didn't see me and other people, essentially. I saw this popularity, right? I saw this popularity. I saw what was trendy, right? I didn't really see anything else besides a couple of people. And so I think I got intimidated. I think I got intimidated by the fact that there wasn't a lot of people creating like me, not even realizing that was my gift. I'm over here thinking that I'm not doing something right when whole time, like, that was my gift. So I kind of succumbed to that a little bit. I also realized that I've leaned a lot into surface level content. Like, if you go on my page, like, a lot of my page is like vlogs, cleaning, home stuff, a little bit about mental health, but really not as much as I could be creating about mental health. I have leaned into surface level content because I've been afraid. And it's crazy because one thing I'm not afraid of is creating. Like, I know how to create a video. I know, like, you tell me go create a somatic video, I do it. You tell me go create a vlog, I'll do it. You tell me go create a talking video, like, I'll do it. There's no problem with me creating, but it's really just a mental game, you know what I mean? I had to really confront myself about the ways that I have not been showing up. It came to a point where I feel like I was creating every day, but I wasn't completely fulfilled. Like, I knew I could be doing more, and not in a sense where, like, what you have isn't good enough, but more in a sense like the things that's really on your heart, you're not creating about. And why is that? Why aren't you creating that? Like, why is that? And man, when I tell y'all, okay, I've been back and forth since the beginning of this year. What I've realized, woo, baby, if you ain't got a drink yet, go get you a drink. Go get you some tea, some coffee. Bro, I just broke it. Do y'all see that? I just broke this. I'm so sick. That's what I get for yapping my mouth. Anyway, if you don't have a drink yet, if you don't have your coffee, tea, whatever time it is, go get it. Because what I'm about to say, like, it might trigger you. And not in a way of like, not even in a negative way, but in a very healing way. About a week ago, I saw a friend that I haven't seen in years. I mean, it has been at least 5-6 years. I also saw another friend. We all like kind of essentially grew up together like since high school. We all went to the same high school, and it's always been love. Now, with my specific friend, her name's Taylor. Hey Taylor girl, if you're watching this, I love you so much.
I ain't gonna never stop loving you.
Saw Taylor, everything's love. We're vibing, we're laughing, we're catching up, and then we have the deep conversation starts. You know when you haven't seen someone, like it's just gonna happen regardless. So we ended up having a 5-hour conversation, y'all. This was probably one of the best conversations I've had all year. Look at me, I'm getting emotional already. Like, this was one of the best conversations that I've had all year. I've known Taylor since we were in middle school, so almost a decade. And things have changed, right? Adulthood, people move, people have kids, all this stuff. Like, it's kind of hard to maintain friendships, especially if you've been friends with them for a long time, because everyone has their own things. Everyone's doing something new. But one thing that never changed between me and Taylor was our love and our support for each other. Having that conversation with her changed the way that I feel about myself, I feel about my journey, and I feel about my purpose. It truly does hit different when you are able to have a conversation with someone and you all can hold such an authentic space for each other, such a safe space for each other, no judgment, just present, just being present with each other. And honestly, that is one of the most beautiful things that you can have in any type of relationship, is the safety. Safety, trust creates intimacy. And we talked about everything under the sun. The reason why I'm telling you this, one, is because I've been on my healing journey for a while now. I really feel like I started my healing journey when I went to grad school, and that was in 2018. Woo, you know what's crazy? Oh my God, it's been like 4 years since like I made the move to North Carolina to go to grad school, to go to North Carolina A&T. Whew, side note, just had to side note that real quick. I'm just gonna hold off on doing my face for a little bit because I'll probably cry. Back to what I was saying. The reason why I'm telling you this is because there's a certain stage of healing where healing alone reaches its end. True, full healing cannot happen in isolation. Shout out to Bell Hooks. If you know, you know. There's only a certain healing that can happen relationally and in the community. That is what happened for me. Secondly, the reason why this conversation changed everything for me is because I was seen. We both saw each other in a very unique, intimate, special, meaningful way. And we both held space for each other. We both saw each other for who we were at our core. No judgment, pure safety, trusting each other with our entire selves. I have been in a lot of spaces where I haven't been seen. And I feel myself getting a heavy heart. To have someone see me in that way was so freaking healing, y'all. It taught me that people can only see you as much as they see themselves. It taught me that all the times that I internalized people not seeing me was an inaccurate narrative that I was telling myself. Because they didn't see me, this is what this meant about me. Because they didn't see me, I'm not worthy of being seen. Because they didn't see me, I'm not good enough. Those were the stories that I was telling myself. And that has prevented me from showing up in the world. It's interesting too, because of those experiences where I haven't been seen, I developed a fear of being seen because I didn't know what that was like for me. Funny enough, I mentioned I started my healing journey about 4 years ago, and I remember there was someone in my life at the time that saw me, and I was terrified. I didn't show it, but I was terrified. I was like, why would you want to see me? Like, me? You sure? You sure it's not shorty over there that looks like X, Y, Z? Like, you want to see me? You want to, like, you like me? You are attracted to me? Like, I couldn't believe it. I didn't know how to accept people seeing me until I started my healing journey. God really just delivered like the final boom. Like, this is the final thing that is going to drive you into your purpose. And God was right. So shout out to God. This conversation with Taylor showed me that I'm worthy of being seen. It showed me that it wasn't my fault that I wasn't seen. It showed me that I'm enough. It showed me that someone can hold space with me, see my pain for what it is, see my experience for what it is, and have nothing but compassion and empathy. And just to give you a little bit of context, like I said, I did feel very lonely growing up. And I explained to Taylor why I felt that way. She even said in that moment, "I'm so sorry for contributing to your pain." The way that I was overwhelmed, personally, I didn't know how to take that. You are acknowledging the pain that you have contributed to, whether it was intentional or not, because that's important. But just for someone to simply acknowledge and hold that space with you and truly mean it. And the other thing that she told me that really, really sealed the deal, despite how I felt with my experience growing up and my experience in high school, she told me that I've always been valuable to her. And that hit my chest, y'all. It hit my chest because I have always been this person, right? I've always been the person that reaches out. I've always been the person that tries. I've always been the person that overextends. I've always been the person to try to maintain the relationship. I've always been that person. That told me that I didn't need to be that person anymore. I don't need to force anything. I don't need to uphold anything. I can just be me. It was like my inner child got healing. My inner child was able to say, okay, you know what? It's okay to trust this person. It's okay to be seen. It's okay to let people in. It's okay. Like, it's okay. It's okay. Oh man, we cried together. We literally cried in each other's arms together. That type of intimacy, man, is not to be taken for granted, because you don't get that in every relationship that you enter. You know what I mean? It's not to be taken for granted. When you have someone that you love and care for and they love and care for you, it really doesn't matter what other people see, right? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, all that matters is that you have the love in your life that you want and that you give to other people. Allowing Taylor to see me in that way really healed my inner child. I feel like I'm a little all over the place because my mind is all over the place a little bit. And like I said, this is my first Get Ready With Me, y'all. So not too much. Just follow along because the plot is very simple, okay? Okay, so going back to when I was talking about being lonely and her affirming me and apologizing, that really helped me forgive. It helped me forgive not only myself, but also other people. When you internalize, like, you're taking it personal, right? Because I'm saying that, oh, this happened to me and that's what this means about me. Like, it means something negative about me because this happened. So when you're internalizing it, that's how you're viewing it. But the gag is, most of the time, it isn't personal. It just isn't. But we view it that way. We have narratives that support that idea that it is personal. One of the things that we talked about was that everyone had their own things going on at that time. And so did I. And so did they. But we just didn't know it at that time. We were young. We didn't know how to communicate that. We didn't know what that was. But I internalized that. And so now, guess what I get to do? I get to make new narratives. Those narratives no longer fit what actually happened. You know what I mean? You cannot heal. You cannot fully heal in isolation. You have to heal in community as well. And having this very raw conversation created community healing. And I feel like that was a burden that I was carrying for a very long time. The need to belong. I've dealt with that since I've been born. I don't know where it comes from. We all have a natural need to belong, but me personally, I feel like I've dealt with that for a very long time. And it has followed me in places, and it has made me stay in places that I didn't belong in because I wanted to belong, because I wanted to be seen, even though I was afraid of it. I have yearned for it. And I know now that I can create my own belonging, and I get to decide what that looks like. It doesn't have to look like what other people think it should thinks it should look like. Going back to middle school, I remember there was a time in grad school, and my mentor was basically trying to help me like kind of work through some stuff. And he said, think about the incident that hurt you the most. And around this time was when I started, I don't know if I'm able to say this, but I started self-harming, right? And the reason why I started self-harming is because I felt like nobody saw me, bro. I felt like nobody saw me. And the friends that I had at the time, I think I was just so much more emotionally mature and more evolved. And I don't think that was necessarily by choice. I think it was just by my own experiences. But I felt like they didn't see me. And I remember when I started cutting, I remember that exact emotion, the pain of not being seen. I remember he told me they more than likely didn't have the capacity to give you what you needed at that time. You had a need and it wasn't met. And you've been internalizing that. And it registered with me at that time. But I think it just makes sense now. It makes sense why this has been such a hard thing for me to get over, because, or not even get through, because it has been around for so long. I literally can see that time where I started cutting. I wanted someone to see me. I wanted to be noticed. I wanted to be important to somebody. I wanted to know that I mattered. And that didn't happen for me. And so I kept cutting. This has affected me in so many different ways. But like I said, more recently, God has been revealing that it's affecting the way I show up. I know that a part of my purpose is to heal, educate, and inspire. And if I'm not willing to be seen, I can't do that. And that's why I needed to move through this. I needed to feel this. It took me a while to process that conversation with Taylor, because again, this is new for me, right? This is very much new for me because I was so used to not being seen. Having that experience, it healed me. It healed me deep. I can feel it in my heart as I talk about this right now. It healed me in ways that I have been wanting for so long. Oh, Lord. I think, like I said, one of the biggest things was just like that I'm worthy of being seen. And I'm just so grateful that we had that conversation. Oh, Lord. Oh, dang it. God dang it. I didn't just did my makeup and now I'm crying. Oh my God. Crying on YouTube. It's okay. I don't care. Oh, Jesus Christ. Good thing I'm crying before I did my concealer, because that would be a freaking mess. I'm worthy of being seen. And y'all about to see a different side of me now, because now that I freaking know that, I get to show up as me. I get to fully show up as me. How freaking beautiful is that? I don't have to hide anymore. I don't have to be afraid anymore. I don't have to wonder if I'm gonna be seen, because I've already been seen. I've been seen when it mattered, and I am looking forward to being seen and continuing to create healing and continuing to see myself, because that is a big part of it, right? I had to learn how to see myself. People can't see you unless you see yourself, right? And I had to learn that. And that's what I've been doing these past 4 years of healing. I've been seeing myself, the good, the bad, the ugly. I hope that you all have spaces, relationships where you can have that type of conversation with somebody, where you can bare your heart, your open soul, and have it be accepted. That's healing. That's affirming. And it affirmed to me how much I matter. We affirm to each other how much we matter to each other and to this world, and that we are important, and that no matter what, there is more to life than pain. There is more to life than horrible experiences. There's more to life than heartbreak. There is more to life. So not only have we been there with each other's pain, but we're going to be there with each other's joy. my life has been very painful, but I'm not holding on to that pain anymore. I was able to release it with that conversation and with the healing that I've done over the past 4 years. I deserve joy. I deserve ease. I deserve love. My inner child now trusts me with being seen. My inner child knows that it's okay to fully show up and that people will appreciate it, and the right people that are for me will be for me. And we now know that there was never anything wrong with me. People just didn't have the capacity to see me, and that's okay. It doesn't mean anything negative about me. There was never anything wrong with me, ever. I just wasn't in those spaces that had the capacity to see me. And I forgive anybody who didn't see me, because it's not personal. I forgive them, and I forgive myself for internalizing it. And I'm just really grateful to be in this healing space. Thank you for sitting with me in this moment and allowing me to be vulnerable with you. I needed to forgive, and I needed to move forward. This is my way of moving forward, by telling my truth, telling how fear has had me in a chokehold, telling you what that fear is and how I plan to move forward. Okay, now that we've got all the cries out, we can move on to this space, baby. Whew, that was a good release. Thank you for crying with me. Because listen, it be like that sometimes. It really do. And that's just what it is. It's life. It's healing. It's love. It's vulnerability. There is a huge consequence to not following your heart. Let me tell you, I have experienced it, and I have woken up every day knowing that I'm not doing what I need to do. Listen to me. If it's on your heart, it's for a reason. That is not something you should ignore. It is on your heart more than likely because God placed it there. You need to follow your urges. You owe it to yourself to follow your urges. You owe it to yourself to explore and to see what makes you happy and what interests you. You owe that to yourself. You have to see it through. And I was waking up, y'all. I was waking up knowing that I wasn't seeing it through, and it bothered me every day. Every day it bothered me. And when I talked about, in the beginning, when I talked about surface level content, that is what I mean. Because I knew I should be creating deeper content. I knew that I should be talking about the topics on my heart. I made a list of all the videos I'm going to do in August. And these are videos that I've been wanting to do. I've been wanting to talk about it, but I've been letting my fear get in the way of it. And that is no longer. Okay? She is rebirthed. She is rebirthed, baby. No longer. Nope. We have things to do. We have people to impact. Know that if you're watching this video, you have things to do too. You have people to impact too. Do you really want to wake up every day and say, yeah, I'm still not doing what I love? Do you? Because I don't. Me personally, I don't want to do that. I don't want to wake up knowing that I can impact people in a way, and I'm choosing not to. Sometimes the biggest blockage is ourselves. It's our mindset. It's the things that we think that we can't do. And I just want you to know that it's possible to move through that. Look at me. We just moved through it together. I don't care who told you that you can't do something. I don't care who told you that you're not worthy. I don't care who told you that you're not enough. They lied. And if they got a problem, they can come to me and we could talk about it. No, actually, we're not going to talk about it because they're liars. There's nothing to talk about. You are worthy of all the good things in this world. You are worthy of following your heart. You are worthy of following your dreams. And you owe it to yourself to do that. You owe it to God to do that. You owe it to your community, the future clients that you're going to have, the future people you're going to run into. You owe it to them to see it through. And I hope that this video motivates you to do that. Like I said, waking up every day and knowing that you are meant to do something and you don't do it, God gonna give that mission to somebody else. I swear. I was literally seeing people do what I wanted to do. I would write an idea down and I wouldn't do it. And then 3 days later, I would see somebody do that idea and just in their own way. And I'd be like, I'd almost be jealous. Not even jealous, envious. And I'd just be like, yeah, I had that idea. But then I asked myself, well, why can't you do that? Like, why can't you do that? And I didn't ever have a reason of why I couldn't do it. It was nothing but fear, but it had nothing to do with my capabilities. It had everything to do with fear. And like I said, fear is a very natural thing in life. Fear is meant to save us. We have a survival instinct for a reason, and most of us watching this have probably been in survival mode for a very long time. If you've came out of survival mode, sometimes it can be really easy to go back to that fear instinct and go back to that survival mode when we feel like we're being threatened. Doing something other than what we've always done feels like a threat. And so it can be really, really hard to move forward. Let me go wet this sponge real quick. Doing something different than you've always done feels like a threat because you've never done it before. It's foreign to you. You don't know what to expect, full of unknowns, full of stories that you're telling yourself about what is unknown. All these things, right? And those are all valid, but we have to move through them in order to get to the next level of doing the thing that we love. Ever since I've been deconstructing my relationship to capitalism, I have been realizing that I've put a lot of shoulds in my life. Like, oh yeah, I should be doing this or whatever. Man, ain't no shoulds. You create this life, you create your rules. That's the beauty of it. You get to do that on your own. And so, you know, we have these shoulds, but like, by who? Who are these shoulds informed by? More than likely not ourselves. They're more than likely informed by society or our upbringing or our parents or whatever the case may be. If it doesn't excite me, baby, I don't want it. And that's just on period. It's just on period. I don't want it if it doesn't excite me. If I feel more dread than excitement, I know that that's not the opportunity for me. Content creation makes me excited. I don't feel dread when it comes to content creation. Now, do I always feel like creating? No, but I don't feel dread when it comes to it. And so that is another reason why I felt so much resistance with not creating the type of content I knew I could create, because I was excited about it. And when you're not doing the things you're excited about, you're gonna feel some type of way, you know? And so I'm just really, really grateful to have had the experiences that really catapulted me into stepping into my purpose. And it's freaking scary, y'all. It's so scary, but you have to do it. I mean, you do have a choice. I was gonna say you have no choice, but the reality is that you do. You can choose not to. Like, that is your choice. You do have the choice, but you're going to be miserable if you don't choose what's dear to your heart. You're going to be freaking miserable. You're never going to find that fulfillment that you want if you are not honoring yourself. You are not honoring your desires. You are not honoring what God has told you to do or sent you to do or whatever the case may be. I'm telling y'all firsthand, there's a consequence to not showing up. You might have told yourself all the reasons why you can't show up. Man, forget that. Forget that. All those reasons are probably lies, and you need to confront those lies. You need to look those lies in your face and tell them that they're wrong, and replace that with the truth. The truth is, you can be whatever you want to be, baby. You can walk into your purpose. You don't have to wait until you're ready. You don't. There's a chance you may never be ready to actually fully step into your purpose, but it's not about being 100% ready. It's about just being willing. It's about being willing, because we all strive for perfection, whether we want to admit it or not. We all want to be perfect in some way, shape, or form. The reality is that perfection doesn't exist. And the more we keep chasing this perfection, the more it prevents us from starting and impacting people the way that we know it will. I'm pretty sure that you have a craft. I'm pretty sure that you have some type of thing that you're working on, some type of space you're taking up that you know is important, and you haven't been moving on it. You've been sitting on it. You've been sitting on an idea. You've been sitting on content. You've been sitting on a podcast. You've been sitting on a YouTube video. You've been sitting on starting an organization. You've been sitting on starting a business. You've been sitting on starting a catering, you've been sitting on doing makeup, you've been sitting on doing hair, you've been sitting on finding a corporate job, you've been sitting on all these things that you know that you want. I'm just here to tell you that you need to give yourself permission to seek those things. Give yourself permission to seek the things that you want. I can sit here and say that you deserve it, but what does that mean? You don't know me. And even if you know me, even if you a bestie, yeah, you know a little bit about me, but you don't really know me. You know what I mean? What does that mean coming from somebody that you don't know? It doesn't mean much. But in the same breath, I do want to affirm to you that you are good enough. Ooh, whoa. Whew. That was a little too much. I do want to affirm to you that you are good enough. I want you to be able to see that for yourself. I don't want you to just believe it because I said it. I want you to believe it because you believe it. And no matter if your experiences have told you different, you are. And believe that you are, because you truly are. You have value simply because you exist on this earth. And there is so much value in knowing that. Sometimes we try to prove our value, especially retiring people pleasers and codependents. We try to prove our value, but we don't have to. You're already valuable, and the sooner you catch on, the sooner you can walk into your purpose. Listen, that's my little spiel. I'm like cute. Anyway, that's my little spiel or whatever. Here's what you can expect from my channel moving forward. Before we move on to that, I want to read you a quote by Bell Hooks. It's the book All About Love. I will link it below. And if you haven't read this book, it's freaking amazing. But this is the quote. In our society, we make much of love and say little about fear. Yet we are all terribly afraid most of the time. As a culture, we are obsessed with the notion of safety. Yet we do not question why we live in states of extreme anxiety and dread. Fear is the primary force upholding structures of domination. It promotes the desire for separation, the desire not to be known. When we are taught that safety lies always with sameness, then difference of any kind will appear as a threat. Didn't I just talk about this? Didn't I just talk about this? I swear to God, I just talked about this. Even though I read this quote like yesterday, but I just talked about this. When we choose to love, we choose to move against fear, against alienation and separation. The choice of love is a choice to connect, to find ourselves in the other. That was the conversation between me and Taylor. And my commitment to becoming myself moving forward, I'm choosing love. I am no longer choosing fear because it's not needed. I gotta run this back. When we choose to love, we choose to move against fear, against alienation and separation. The choice to love is a choice to connect, to find ourselves in the other. That is what my platform is for. I want you to see me in you. I want to see you in me. The reason why you are consuming my content is because you, in some way, shape, or form, see myself in you. Or you can relate to me in some way, shape, or form. And that is what my platform is about. I want people to know that no matter what they're going through, you're not alone. I promise to God you're not. I promise on everything I love, you're not alone. Even if you feel alone, you're not. You're not alone. And that is what I want my platform to be. My platform has been that, but it's just going to be in a different way now. So moving forward, you can expect a change up in content. I love vlogs. I will continue doing vlogs, but I also want to talk about things like this. I want to talk about my healing journey. I want to talk about spiritual growth. I want to talk about products I love. I want to talk about my job as a therapist. I want to give y'all a day in the life. I want to give y'all fashion. I want to give y'all all these things, right? But again, less surface level content, more intentional, meaningful content. I'm going to give y'all everything. There's a lot of great things coming to Life with Key Rose. A podcast is coming soon. New content on YouTube is coming soon. New content on social media. So just expect it. We can talk more about walking in your purpose in the future, but this was just the first video. This was the first video of me walking in my purpose. As I rebirth and as I step into my truest self, I'm excited to grow my community. And thank you. Thank you so much for being here with me. This was a very vulnerable video, and I really appreciate you taking the time to watch it. And I appreciate you consuming my content and loving my art. It means everything to me. To be able to create means everything to me. I think about creating every single day. And so for you to be here with me in a vulnerable moment and as I walk into my purpose, truly, I don't take it for granted. So thank you. All my videos are gonna be this sad, and it wasn't even sad for real, but you know, I cried a couple times. This is me, this is who I am, and I don't care what anyone thinks anymore. For anyone struggling, I just want you to know that you're able to have breakthroughs just like I've had my breakthrough. It will be this one thing that happens, and it will allow you to shift your entire perspective, your entire mindset about your life, yourself, your relationships, everything about you. There will be one moment that shifts your entire mindset, and that moment will be your breakthrough. Good thing about being down is that there's only one way. You can't go down when you're at the lowest level. You have to go up. Just know that I see you, and just know that if you're confused about what the heck you're doing in life, if you don't know what you're doing in your 20s, you're not happy, it's okay. You're shedding, you're learning. Allow yourself to evolve, allow yourself to have these breakthroughs, allow yourself to feel all the feels. It will come to you eventually, but just know that even if you don't know your purpose yet, just know that you still have value in this world and in this lifetime. All right, I hope you all enjoyed my first Get Ready With Me. Here's the final look. I look cute, right? Yeah, I just got my hair done. This pony, baby. This pony, baby. Yeah, thank you so much. I love you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, bestie.